Alloy 7.
The more time I spend with Dark Souls, the more I enjoy the game. Sure, it's difficult, but it's one of those few games that's difficult for the right reasons. Save for a few battles and platforming situations where the somewhat imperfect controls got me killed, all of my deaths were the result of my enemies fighting better or smarter than me. I love the freedom I have to explore the world, and the scarce non-player character input that drives the story. Were it not for the limited feeling of progression I've experienced leveling and developing my character, this game would be dang near perfect for me. I feel as if the point of the game is to unravel a mystery by playing instead of being force-fed the story via cutscenes. Mixed with the freedom is a general lack of guidance about what to do next. I have a general idea about what I'm supposed to do and where I'm supposed to go for the next major piece in the story puzzle, but aside from that generic understanding, I'm really just relying on my instincts and in-game experiences to determine my next move. I've gone places where I clearly don't belong, as demonstrated by the ass beating the local enemies gave me. I've also had fun finding slick ways to beat monsters that clearly outclass me. In short, I love that Dark Souls allows me to experience its story and its world at my discretion. So many games attempt to push me down the path that they've carved out for me. Dark Souls allows me to blaze my own trail. My experience with Dark Souls has caused me to think back to one of my favorite adventure games from childhood. This would be Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest. Strangely enough, I've heard many gamers refer to Simon's Quest as one of the worst games in the Castlevania series. But much like my experience with Dark Souls, Simon's Quest allowed me the freedom to explore the world at my discretion. It unraveled an interesting story using NPCs. It provided a host of difficult enemies to overcome, used souls, or in this case hearts, as currency, and made losing these hearts the penalty for death, and also encouraged grinding for said hearts to acquire better equipment. And somehow all of this weaved together into an experience that I remember very fondly. It's strange though, because it also makes me ponder the relative mediocrity that has surrounded all of the 3D Castlevania titles. None of the 3D Castlevanias I've played were particularly bad, but I can't help but wonder how well these New Age Castlevanias would have been received had they been crafted as well as Dark Souls. I feel as if Dark Souls is allowing me to relive all the nostalgic goodness of the Castlevanias of old. In a way, I feel like Dark Souls is what Castlevania should have evolved into. It seems a much more proper 3D spiritual successor to a series that had such an outstanding 2D legacy.
Alloy 7.